Hi guys, today we are going to start working on some validation in our case type. The first validation that we are going to do is to make certain fields require. So for example, the hotel name, we want the user to always have to enter the name of the hotel. So if they click on continue, they should get this error. Another validation that we want to work in is a more custom one, which is related to the check-in and checkout dates. So we want the user to select an appropriate check-in and checkout date. That means that they have to select a date that is in the future. So if they select a date in the past, for example, starting 2 days early, and we click continue, we should get this error up here that says that please select an appropriate check-in and checkout dates. Another validation is that we don't want the user to make a reservation that exceeds 30 days. So that's another validation that we are going to add. Because it is greater than 30, we will get this error up here that tells us that the stay duration can't exceed 30 days. So if you are interested in seeing how we do this, keep on watching. So the first validation that we want to add is in our first view. So we want the user to always have to select hotel name. So in options, we can make it a required field. So Pega will take care of this. This means that if the user doesn't enter any information, Pega won't allow the user to go to the next step. So let's test this. So now hotel name is a required field. If I try to click on continue, we will get this error. And it won't allow us to continue until we enter some information here. I want to do the same for this field. Now I want to add some validation for the check-in and checkout dates. So some examples of some validations is that I don't want the user to enter a date that is in the past. Another validation that we want to check is that the date duration is greater than 0, right? I don't want the check-in and checkout date to be the same. And one last validation that I want to make is to make sure that the stay duration doesn't exceed 30 days. For this validation, we are going to configure the view. And here, in this section in validations, we are going to click on it. And we are going to add some conditions. So here we can add a message and a condition for this validation. So let's add a message. So the message is going to be, please select an appropriate check-in and checkout date. And here we are going to select the field that we want to use for the validation. So in this case, it's going to be the stay duration. I want this validation to occur when it is less than or equal to 0. Okay, let's test this. Okay, it works. So I want to create an additional validation with the same message to make sure that the reservation is in the future. So this is one validation. I can actually add an extra condition in this same validation instead of creating a new one. So to do this, we are going to go over here and we are going to click on add a row. And now we have two conditions for this same validation. So we can choose if we want this to be an AND, that means that both conditions have to be true in order to display this message, or we can use an OR. So if either of these two are true, this message will show to the user. So I want it to be OR because I want to check the check-in date. I want to make sure that it's in the future. So let's select it, check-in. Let's see if we have an option is before. So let's see. So I don't want to have a custom date. So what I want to do is see if we have some options here. So type, time period, day, today. Okay, so this makes sense. Time period, day, and today. So let's test this. So we can see that check-in date is before today. If that's the case, we are going to get this message. Okay, we get that message. Okay, so the last validation is that I want to make sure that the user doesn't exceed 30 days. So for this, I actually want to create a new validation, right? Because if we display this message with that error, the user will not know what to do, right? They will not know how it is not an appropriate check-in and check-out date. So we want to be more specific. So that's why I'm going to create a new one. And I'm going to tell the user that the stay duration cannot exceed 30 days. So I'm going to select the stay duration. And the condition is if it's greater than 30, then we want to display this message. So here we have it. Stay duration cannot exceed 30 days. Okay, so far we have been entering the name of the hotel. So instead of this, we want to have something similar to what we have here, right? A drop-down list with all the hotels that are in the system. But so far we don't have anything in the system about hotels. In the next video, we are going to start working on a data type to store information about hotels. So thanks for watching.